That's what I need to be doing right now. What he's doing in there. Well, he's thinking about it. If you can't tell, he's on his running wheel there. Our friend Totoro here. Hanging out, enjoying a peaceful Sunday night. Gotta make sure he gets locked in. To tell you guys a story what happened last time he was here last weekend, he got out. This was somehow jostled loose, and the little persistent creature chose to get out. And I may have told you guys the story, I'm not sure, but he was up here. It's a pretty good drop down there. And somehow he ended up down here somewhere, like back there and all that mess, all that messy mess. But it's Ken, it's Sunday. How you guys doing? Happy Sunday. If you came here yesterday looking for a video and didn't find one, I apologize. If you took your time out of your day to come back and find a video and there was none here, I apologize. We had a very busy Saturday here at the house. Then we spent the evening out at Universal Studios where Bridget works, and we got to do some fun stuff. We got to go behind the scenes and ride on a float, a Mardi Gras float. We have coals, by the way. Not quite ready yet. I want to say this is probably the 5th time in the last 10 days we've grilled out. Summertime, we grill out pretty much every day. It's an ongoing thing. Especially on a night like this. It's gorgeous, beautiful, clear night. It's breezy and it's cool. But what was I saying? Yeah, we went out to Universal last night, with some friends of ours and got to ride on a Mardi Gras float. It was an Oktoberfest themed float. So it was fun to hang out there for a couple hours and throw beads at people. It was about an hour trip, I guess, an hour parade route. So we had to throw. So my arms are a little sore today from chucking out beads at people. I can't say how many beads that I threw out to people, but it was a lot. A lot of beads went sailing into the air. The best part was when you reach and you pull out a bead and you make eye contact with somebody on the floor and you point to them. Okay, I'm sympathetic to the kids who are sitting there with all the adults and their big arms in their way, so I'm sympathetic to the kids, and I look at the kids, I look at them in the eye, and I try and focus, and I try and toss the bead in their direction, hope it lands right there in their lap or in their hands. But oftentimes I could throw it with the intention of throwing it like here, and then it goes off into the distance. So a lot of my beads ended up in trees as the parade route went through, but it was a fun night. And they're very strict about no video behind the scenes. We could take still pictures. If you're friends with me on Facebook, then you saw a couple pictures of us on the boat in our costumes. They're very strict about no pictures or video of anything else behind the scenes. So I was very respectful of their wishes. So no video from backstage, limited pictures. And I guess I could have done video from before that, but it was just a hustle bustle to get out there. Our friends Tammy and Robert, who live here. You've seen Tammy before on a few videos. And just spent a nice night to hang out with friends and just kind of chill out. It was fun. Bridget and all of her work friends were there, and it was cool. So now over here, relaxing. My neighbor Nick is working tirelessly in his garage. Speaking of which, I began construction on a third Halloween prop project. I'll show you guys the bunny rabbit transformation on Tuesday for a terrible transformation Tuesday. And then I've got this idea, and I got this idea from looking at Lego minifigures. I love Lego minifigures, and one of the things that I do with my students in my cartooning class is we give them a Lego minifigure and tell them to re-image it, to recreate it. And a really great example of re-imaging either a storyline or a character, a former kindergarten student of mine, Gianna, who's now in 3rd grade at Audubon, she invited me to come out and see her performance. I've been going to her performances at the Winter Springs Performing Arts Center here in Oviedo, Winter Springs, since she was in kindergarten. So I've seen her in many performances, seen her grown up, seen her grown into a wonderful actress and a singer, and she's so talented, and she's so just passionate about being on stage and performing. But today she was in a performance called Honk Jr. It was very, very clever. I thought it was very, very cool. Essentially, they took the age-old story of the ugly duckling. Okay, the ducklings are born, and the swan is in the mix, and the ugly duckling lives a life of just being the outcast because she's ugly, or he's ugly. And then she turns into a swan and becomes this beautiful swan that everybody's like, wow, how wonderful is that? But the great thing about the project, or rather the performance, is that it was set back in the 80s. So all these little kids, elementary school age children, were all dressed with big hair and 80s makeup and 80s sweaters and 80s leggings and jackets, and they had the lingo and they were talking like the 80s. It was really fun. But I like that. That's what I like about re-imaging and taking something that already exists and kind of making your own, putting your fun little spin on it. We're big fans here at the house of a show called Face Off, and they do that often, where they'll take an existing thing that we are all familiar with, something familiar that we all love, and then turn it into something of your own, which is really exciting. But going back to my reason why I began this little rant was Lego minifigures. Okay, one thing I do with my cartooning class is we take minifigures and we re-image them, change them, make them into something else, and that's what I'm planning on doing for my very next process. I told you I started part 3 of this Halloween project building process, and I'm not going to say what it is, but it's going to be a very familiar Lego minifigure that I'm going to transform into something very fun. It's an alien. I'm very excited about it. So this one I'm going to actually make into a mask rather than a prop. I'm not quite sure yet. If I make the mask, then I have to make the outfit and a prop to go with it. He has a cool little laser gun. So I'll show you guys the minifigure Tuesday for Terrible Tuesday. Terrific Transformation Tuesday, whatever you guys want to call it. I'll show you guys that on Tuesday when I show you guys the bunny I'm finishing up tonight. And we'll talk more then, okay? I know I kind of rambled on, but let me know what you guys think about transformations, about re-imaging of things. I think that's just a fun, clever way to spark your imagination and creativity. And that's what it's all about for me, okay? I love that. So, see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, I promise you, somewhere in the midst of a wonderful Monday. So, in the meantime, thanks for watching and tuning in. All that kind of good stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy Sunday. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Bye.